Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we got a brew built around warp cards and haste enablers, trying to cheat in these giant creatures and get them to attack with trample and haste, for example, with the Frostcliff Siege. This is kind of the key card to this deck, one of the key cards, which is 3 mana, and mostly choosing the teamer mode to give it +1 power, trample, and haste to all our creatures, so that when we warp in, for example, the Bygone Colossus for 3 mana, it's got 10 power with trample and haste, and you can attack for 10 damage right away. Pretty powerful. Also with the Mightform Harmonizer, warp that in for 3 mana, play a land, and you can double that to 10 power, essentially, if you have a buff from the siege here. Let's just say you played a Fabled Passage with that. Now you're getting in for 20 damage with trample with the Harmonizer on the turn after you play the siege, so that's pretty powerful. Also, the Starwinder here for 4 mana to warp in. You can draw a ton of cards. Also, it's pretty big, has a 7/7, can do a bunch of damage. Draw a bunch of cards for you. So that's why we got the Starwinder. So these are our big old warp cards and our haste enablers, the Siege, as well as we're trying out this Turbodrone here, which kind of does similar stuff to the Siege. Gives a creature +1/+1 and haste. No trample, which makes it a little bit worse, but it's also a creature on its own, so can attack and block, which could be useful. And then also the summon Brynhildr, I believe how you pronounce this, the 2 mana 2/1 can draw you kind of an extra card, which is useful, and then also can give 2 creatures haste the next couple of turns, so you could play this on 2 and then say warp this in and attack for 11 damage on turn 3, which is pretty cool, and then maybe warp in the Starwinder and attack with haste again on turn 4. So this kind of works pretty well with our curve, giving everything haste. So those are our haste enablers. Full Bore also kind of enables haste. You do have to play it the turn that you warp in these other creatures, but it does give them haste and trample, which is exactly what you want with our warp creatures. So you do need the extra mana, which is kind of why we have all the mana acceleration here. The Llanowar Elves and the Glimpse the Core to give us extra mana. So if you want to kind of set up for a big turn, for example, if you go, say, Colossus, 3 mana, Full Bore for 1 mana, and then attack for a bunch of damage, and then you fling it with the Callous Sell-Sword, that's more than 20 damage with trample haste. It does require 5 mana in 1 turn, so that's kind of why we have some mana acceleration here. Glimpse the Core also nice for hitting landfall multiple times with the Mightform Harmonizer, potentially. And then Llanowar Elves can just, again, accelerate this whole deck a turn faster. You can't even get a turn 3 kill possible. Llanowar Elves into the Siege, turn 3, warp this, attack for 10, fling for 10 on turn 3, or you can go Llanowar Elves, Siege, or even the Turbodrone, I suppose. And on turn 2, turn 3, warp this in, and then pump it with this fetch land and attack for 20. So turn 3 wins possible with this deck, which is pretty exciting. But the fling also gives you, some reach with the deck and some more explosive turns as well with the Callous Sell-Sword. No way to actually cast it, but just holding it for the right opportunity. Mana base, we've got some Verges here, but also we get Stomping Ground and Breeding Pool, which is nice, and Fabled Passage, fixing the mana, but mostly for the double landfall for our Harmonizer. So that is the deck. Those are the combos. Let's jump into some games and see it in action. A huge thank you to all my viewers who have joined my channel membership. I really appreciate all the support. Members get badges, emotes, and early access to all my videos. Click the link in the description below the video to join and get these perks today. Okay, on the play, this hand looks pretty good. Got to turn to Siege. That's nice. Exactly what I want to do. Opponent on Lotus Sleeves, pretty nice. Alright, Breeding Pool and Elf. And Evolving Wild, sure. Okay. Let's go Siege here. Could draw cards. Do we want to do that? The only reason I say that is because I have another Haste Enabler here, but I think in general this is just much more what the deck wants to do, so. Let's do it. Ooh, okay. So we can go Warp, Landfall, Swing. If we had a red mana, we could kill them, actually. We don't have another red land in our hand. So I think we'll do that. Or we could just play it out. And attack. But I like just swinging for 10 here. Let's just do that. Warp. And don't even have to play a tap land. I mean, don't have to play it untapped. Swing for 10. And then next turn we can play it again and do the same thing. Again, do need a mountain though to fling it, but here's a chocobo. There it is. Okay, well that should just be game then. Play this. Play this. Double pump this, and just don't even need to attack. Alright, GG. Very nice. On to the next one. Okay, on the play. Okay, got a bunch of warp guys. And a fling. We'll try this. We need either like a fetch would be good. Let's see. Start with the Llanowar Elf. Just more lands would be useful, or a way to give haste. There's land. I think that's worth playing. Just to ramp into something. Play this tapped. Alright, well, we can hardcast these now if we don't draw a way to give them haste. So there's Esper Origins. Could hardcast this, but this we really need a way to haste it up. Okay, maybe we just hold on to this land for landfall. Yep. And then, because we go another one and then landfall that next turn, that'd be pretty good. Could be potentially a lethal attack. Okay. And rear here. Okay. And Starwinder. I mean, you can also warp that in. But they're definitely going to block if we do that. So I think I'm just going to play another one of these. Play the land. They could block. Is there any benefit of playing this? No, they would definitely block and then I just lose that. So I think it's better to just play this. Play the land. And we'll all pump, we'll pump here. And attack for 16. If they don't block, they're dead. They probably will block. Sort of forces a block. Yep. Now, is it worth it to fling for 16? Just to put them down to whatever? I don't think so. Could be. We get them down to 6 life, correct? I think I'm just going to hold on to my creature. Just because I can draw a ton of more cards next turn with this. Yeah, okay. And another removal spell? Jeez, okay. Well, and now I draw the Fabled Passage. Oh boy, okay, well, let's warp in one of these. And attack for 1. Draw a card. See what I hit. Oh man, awkward. Let's play the Fabled Passage. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's a reason to hold it. I mean, I could fling this for 7 if I wanted to, and then next turn go Starwinder full bore. Or next turn I can go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do all of this, and this will be 10 and 10. Or this will put them down to 11, and then this will be 10. So yeah, I think just waiting a turn is better. Also gives me another. I can just play this next turn too. Potentially if I draw a land. Here's Yuna, sure. And get back something. Yep. Okay, but we should be able to draw a bunch of cards next turn and maybe win if they don't block. Okay. Okay, there is another fling. Nice. And let's tap the elves and go. We have 2 red if we need it. And cast with warp. Let's just get the mountain. And the very off chance that we'd like draw both our mountains from this. And then full bore here. Swing for 10. Alright, they have chosen death. I appreciate that. Might as well just draw a bunch of cards. And then, yeah, fling it. Alright. GG. Very nice. On to the next one. Okay, on the play... This hand looks okay. Definitely need another land to make this viable, but we'll try it. Give it a shot. Enters tapped. Always so cool that you can play the shock lands now. Okay, enters tapped. We can play this out next turn, and then hopefully we will draw a land. Another land, yeah, okay. Ooh, they are also doing Tifa things here. Tifa doing Tifa things. Go for my Turbodrone. Let's see if they have removal. Okay. No, not going to attack. Okay, so now we could warp in this. Although we don't have a red source. Another red source. Did we draw all 4 of our breeding pools? That's interesting. So we actually can't do like warp. And I mean we can just play it, I guess. Which I guess we have to do. I mean we can warp it in and then landfall and then attack for like 10. We could also just play it. Is that better? I think I just play it, right? One, two, three, four. Yeah, okay. Needed another red source, ironically. But I could attack for 5. Or I could try to block with it. Let's just try to set up a 1-turn shot here. With another one. Okay. Alright, so this should be good. We could have something. Ooh, there's a Starwinder. But yeah, I think if we go, let's see, green, 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 warp this in. So we want to now give it haste. Pump it up. Landfall. Pump and pump. And then we just fling it. I mean, I guess there's no real reason to even, unless they have a life gain. What could they do to interrupt this? They can give something indestructible, yes. Okay. Alright, well that works. GG. On to the next one. Okay, on the play. This hand looks okay. No red mana, but I do have two of these, which can do some work. Let's just get it out an elf here. And oh, okay. There's the awkwardness. Let's play a Verge. No need to warp this for any reason. But we can attack for one and then play another one. The next turn we could warp and play land, or we could just play out a Harmonizer. Jeez, okay. Well, might as well just play out everything here. 2 mana up, but we have 2 of these, so just play one out. Play out another elf. Okay. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably should have held that land. Ooh, okay, that's pretty sick. Let's just play another one and go to town if we can. Didn't need to necessarily hold that land, so yeah, let's just pump this, twice and GG. Alright. That was interesting. On to the next one. Okay, on the play, let's see what we got. This hand does some stuff. It needs like another mana source. Like the Llanowar Elves would have been perfect, but can't win them all, I guess. Let's see. Let's go tap land. We need like 4 mana for this. That's a pretty good draw. Let's play the Passage here, so we can play this next turn. Get a mountain, I think, is what we want. Actually, double blue, maybe? I think we want... There's some chance we want double red for the full bore and the fling. But the Sidewinder, I think I'm going to get the second island. Well, there's another passage anyways. Okay. Pay the life. See if this resolves. No? Okay, they had negate up. Interesting. Main deck negate. Sure. Okay, another land. So I think what we do is just wait on everything here. I could play this and like give it haste, but I've got a bunch of mana up. And if I can do it all in one turn, that's certainly better. We could go for the win next turn. If they tap out or do something. You're not tapping out or doing something. Do we go for it? I think so. I don't see why not. We can go for the Starwinder. I think we'll just go for the Colossus. Yeah, let's see what they do. We do have enough to... Oh, wow, they're tapping out. Well, that is a fatal mistake. Why would they do that in response? Because now I don't have to... Okay, I don't know. Anyways, GG. Got the mountain, the full bore, swings, and flings. Alright, GG. On to the next one. Okay, opponent goes first. This hand... It's okay. It's not great, but it has tools that we can work with, maybe. Kind of. Okay, there's land. Okay, that's a good draw. Play another pool. Yep, Overlord. Let's see if that got surveilled. I was like, how'd they get there? Let's do Mountain and Siege on Teamer. Okay, so we have a lot of damage here. Ooh, nice. Okay, Yuna. Let me get that back. So if we warp this in, and then we go land with this on the stack, so this will have 5 power, and then it'll have 8 power, and that'll double to 16. I'm doing that math right? 5, 8, double to 16. So maybe we're just going to go Starwinder and hit them for a bunch. And then save this. I mean, we could also just play this, but I think we go Starwinder. Am I going to die on the backswing? It does give... Starwinder. Harmonizer could also just do a ton of damage, and then plan to win on the backswing that way, because we have 2 full bores. Following turn with this. Or a fling, so just kind of like maximize damage. Actually, I think I like that better. We don't really need cards. We need damage here. So, alright, we're going to warp this in. I'm going to go full control. Play Stomping Ground. Pay 2 life. Target itself. In response, full bore it. And double to 16. Trample, attack. See if they're going to block or not. Okay, not going to block. Totally fine. And then warp out, and then we can do the exact same thing next turn. So we'll see. If they hold up like instant speed removal, we're certainly dead here, but I think this gives us the best chance of winning. Okay, gonna try to mill over a few more things. Returning another unit. Attack, and these leave these back. Block. This is 7. I guess there is an awkwardness in that the untapped land has to be a red source for this thing. They're at 12. Okay. Ooh, Bygone Colossus. Does that get it done? That's 10. I think we're gonna have to, because we play this and a double, we play a land at double to 10 power. We can attack for 10. They have definitely enough back to block. And same with this. So we have to play this in like, I think we have to hope to draw a fling off of it. And also hope that they don't. Go here, and when we warp this in. Attack. Don't have enough to kill them with just this. Yeah. Okay, I think that's game. They blocked. They blocked it, and if we draw a bunch of cards in the backswing, there's nothing we can do. It's not quite enough damage. Alright, well, let's just make sure. Actually, I'm not even going to get in through any damage. Alright, GG. Okay, opponent goes first. This hand looks good except for no forest on turn 1. Untapped forest, so we'll just play the tap land here. I think even though we just drew this. But should be okay here. We'll get our forest, and this has red. That will got the red-blue verge, okay. We can play the summon if we wanted to, and then give haste things. I think we'll just go. Would give us a better chance of hitting a land drop. But then. Yeah, sure. I'll play it. Use all the mana. There is a land. Okay. So, let's see what they have. They have a summon of their own. The Una list here. And now we can play this land. Still no blue mana though. So we could put this in and swing for a good amount of damage. We could just play the elf, attack and full bore this if it gets through, and also play the elf. Play this, but don't have a land drop to really go with it. Full bore and fling this is also an option. When you next cast a creature, it gains haste. So this also kind of would get haste. Let's play the elf. And then let's just attack. I think for 2, and well, if we could full bore this to, we have, yeah, I don't really want to trade. We full bore it twice. Let me just think. No, I think we don't want to attack. Okay. We'll just hold back. Don't really want to trade with this thing. If we draw a land, this will let us go Colossus, full bore, and fling. All in the same turn. This came into play with counter on it. Yep. And there is an attack. And no box. I need a land for this plan to work. But It could, and it didn't. Alright, so the plan is to see if they block here, I think. Warp this in. And attack here for 9, and then there's a chance they don't block this. Oh, well. Give a trample. Or I could just fling for 9. Yeah, I'll just fling it, actually. Okay. So now we can go warp this in, give it haste. If we have a land, that will be lethal. Alright. Seam rip. Okay. It's fine. Overlord takes down. Yuna's gonna get back something. Okay. Ooh, there's the land that we needed. So yeah, this should work, I believe. Although, yeah. Alright. Cast it. Now we're gonna go full control so that we can respond to its ability. Pay the life. In response to this ability, we're going to cast the full bore. So that it gets pumped and then it gets doubled. 14, and then swings. And that should be... They can block 5 of it, but that's still exactly 9. Wow, okay, yeah. Okay, well, we got there. A bit of a... interesting game, but worked out. GG. Hello, welcome back to the wrap-up for our Warp Haste combo deck. This one was super fun, pretty explosive deck. Worked pretty well. There was some interesting turns and decisions that you had to make when playing this deck, and definitely a surprise factor, which I think won a few games. People just didn't see tons of damage coming out of nowhere. You know, you play the Siege out on turn 2 or turn 3, and then suddenly the next turn you can attack for lethal. People just don't see that coming, but certainly a powerful effect, and had a, over 50% win percentage with the deck. Everything looked pretty decent. I wasn't 100% sure of the Turbodrone. There's sort of like a coyote that you could play, that, what's it called? The coyote that gives haste with plot. You could try that instead. Summon was pretty good here. Everything else seemed to work well. Starwinder, maybe the weakest of the cards, just because the warp cost is just 1 more mana, so it's a little slower. But I don't know, you could experiment with other warp cards. There's like that 2 mana warp card that draws a card. You could try that one out as well. Not as much damage or card draw, but something to consider as you're testing it out. And mana base, I feel like maybe it could be tweaked a bit. Wasn't 100% sure on the verges. There's an interesting kind of dynamic in this deck where with the Harmonizer, or with sort of the other cards, you want to warp them in and then have a red source open to either play the full bore or the Sell-Sword, especially with a Harmonizer, because you want to warp it in and then have your land drop be the red source itself. So maybe you can incorporate more red sources, maybe cut an island for a mountain, or maybe play more of these verges instead of the breeding pools. Not sure exactly how you want to balance the mana. Seemed to work well enough for me, but there was just a few spots where I wanted 1 more red source. So anyway, something to consider if you're trying out the deck. Let me know what you think about the deck in the comments below. Any cool additions or options for it. Yeah, this definitely seems like a powerful strategy and something to consider and maybe tweak and improve in a future video, but let me know what you think. Really appreciate you watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.